Yeah, I get that popcorn wish out there.
On the way back down, you
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's in your contract.
Is it?
if you get one, probably from your.
That's in my house.
All right, we'll go ahead and start with a statement, and we'll take questions for Coach.
Yeah, Indiana. EA, we're good. Knew exactly what we were getting into. An old team, an experienced team, again, a team that did everything that we talked about in practice and pre-practice and did it to the T. And give Joe and his team a ton of credit. Tonight, couldn't make a coach any happier in a preseason game. I mean, I am. If I tell you how ecstatic I am, truthfully, I cannot wait to watch the film, and I cannot wait till tomorrow's practice, and Monday's practice, and the next day's practice. I cannot wait, because now we have, no offense to St. Francis, but now we have some growth to do, and then I see, and I hope everybody saw the importance of DeMonte and Hutch and obviously Trent, because we sure as hell couldn't guard the ball tonight. But and I will say this, I'm really disappointed in our complete lack of immaturity. I mean, our maturity level was not good, and we do that in practice. We chirp all the time when managers or coaches make a bad call, and that's on me. We got to quit that, and we will get that handled. So just give them a ton of credit, and know that I'm going to go to bed tonight really happy because we got some work to do.
Any questions for Coach?
Brad, the other day you seemed like your team needed a wake-up call. Is this the wake-up call you wanted to give them?
Oh yeah, I mean there was no doubt, and I couldn't have scripted anything any better, to be honest. I mean, now obviously don't want Trent, but those freshmen all had to play. They all had to step in. They all had to play meaningful minutes. I thought that we knew how they were going to play defensively, what they do. They're a top 5 team in DER in Division II. The paint was wide open. We saw them. We call it a dork. They dorked Coleman. Didn't guard it. And said, fire them all up there. See how many you can make. And he's a really good shooter. He just got out of rhythm and started thinking about it a little bit. So we saw so many things tonight that are really good for us. And Bello didn't have one of his better games. With 10 turnovers, we got to get that corrected. And then they picked on us. They picked on. They had a great game plan and went right at Curbelo, and without Trent in the game, guarding the ball was a challenge. So a lot of things to get better with.
Is there any update on Trent, DeMonte, or Hutch?
No, I think that everything becomes a little bit day to day with 2 guys who were out, and I don't know anything there on Trent.
Seems like Kobe and Jacob were pretty visibly upset when they came in here, and they said they didn't play to the standard. Is that a sign of culture, and are you maybe happy to see them recognizing that, hey, this isn't our best, and we're not just gonna walk out of here like, okay, we just won a game?
I hope there's a standard that's set, and they know what that standard is. They shouldn't feel very good. They should not feel very good about the way they play and the effort with which they did it. We practiced really well yesterday. We were awful because we had a crazy week of practice with some off days in there, but we got a lot of work to do, and I'm glad that they understand that that's not the standard we have set.
Coach, before Coleman's technical foul on the sideline, he was playing a pretty good game, was doing a lot of different things. Can you kind of just dissect what you saw from him tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he played with really good energy. He got out and ran. You start to see, you know, what we see, you know, in practice all the time. You see his talent, and you know, he's a guy that again can do a lot of things. You know, he's a better shooter than his 2 for 7 numbers, but you know, he gets on the glass. He's consistently on the glass. He does that every day in practice. 5 offensive rebounds. You know, he's a guy that's going to be a very, very good scorer for us, and to be quite honest, he's been one of our better defenders, and I didn't think he was as good tonight defensively as he's been in practice.
Grant, how do you evaluate the roller coaster ride that was on Rick Cabella tonight, offensively and defensively?
It wasn't his best performance, let's just put it that way, and we've all seen him be very, very good. And that starts in practice, and that starts with the culture of doing it every day in practice, and finding a consistency there that is good, and he'll get there. The man's got a lot of pride, but you know, the 10 turnovers, you know, we'll get that figured out. I got to help him more. The lack of defense. We got to work there, because they picked on him.
You talked about RJ and his improvement throughout the week. How much since he came to you has his defense and his understanding of defensive principles improved?
A lot. RJ's got a chance to be a lockdown defender. I was excited tonight because we put him on their young man, number 13, really got going, and wanted to watch him. And then we also threw him on number 3. You know, the kid has been a really good player for him, a big scorer. We wanted to see him guard multiple positions, and he did that. But you know, he's growing, he's getting better, and he's got to continue to do the little things: dive on the floor for loose balls, take charges, crack down in a rotation. Those are all things that take time.
Brad, this isn't a starting lineup question, but Coleman started tonight with Kofi and with your starting group. What kind of look does he give you with his skill set there?
Yeah, I mean, he's a consistent stretch 4 that can play some 5 and that can guard some 3s, and so we get a tremendous amount of versatility out of him. He's a guy that I think is going to be a really good playmaker. And again, they threw a little curveball at him tonight, dorking him. But he's a guy who can make shots, and so I've been very, very pleased with Coleman until his immature moment, chirping to the bench in a game that wasn't over. So that I can promise you that's not happening again with any of our guys.
Alfonso Plumber seemed to get a lot more shots tonight than he did against St. Francis. Seemed to be schemed up more. You said you were going to do that. What did you kind of see from him shooting the ball? It came out really hot.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Plum is we've got to get him in great shape. I thought he got tired. I thought he was, you know, we played him a lot of minutes, and we've got to get him in shape to where he's concentrating, knocking down shots at the end of the game. And you know, it was quite a drastic difference, but he is an elite shooter, and I'm just telling you that. I mean, he's got a quick release, he's got a deep range. Early, I thought he was tremendous, and we tried to run some actions to get him, you know, quick little pin downs and execute. But now we got to get him, you know, knowing what we're doing coming out of a timeout, and we've got to get him to guard and do those things, and we'll get him there.
Is conditioning part of it with Omar only 9 minutes and this one, same, the first exhibition as well?
No, I don't know if it was as much that. It's partly, but you know, I think we've got to get Omar rebounding, and you know, his ability to chase balls on the glass has got to be something that he owns. And you know, it was not the intent to play him 9; it was the intent to play him a lot more. But again, there was some break breaks in the game early, and I was visibly challenged. We didn't get Kofi the ball, and so I wanted to leave Kofi in there for some of that as well. But yeah, Omar's going to have to contribute at a much higher level, and that's on me to help get in there.
Brad, there was a moment Lou Goody grabbed his teammates, veterans, and was talking, and he seems pretty vocal on the court. Is that normal, or what are you seeing from him?
Quarterback. He's a high school quarterback, and he has some of the most incredibly natural, instinctive leadership qualities, and he has got a tremendous maturity about him for a young guy. He's not afraid to do that. And I talked. I told you the other day, he's a big trash talker. He is, but he also is next play, let's go. And he's got a very mature presence about him.
I just want to ask you about the ceremony before. I know you talked yesterday about it being a closure moment, but to have that in front of you, what was that like today with IO back? And then in the second part, can you give me the origin of the big stomp that you guys all did?
Yeah, you guys see Kofi's last thing he does in the pregame warm-ups last year? It was that big foot down and that big stomp. So that's where that kind of originated. And so then we just took it on as a collective group and as a team, and it became kind of our rallying cry. We had a little motto that Derek knows. I think Jason Murray had a shirt on tonight that signifies what our motto was, but I won't repeat that in this room. So, but the stomp was part of Kofi's deal. But what a spectacular night! And that probably didn't help us in the game. It's probably the distractions as well. But his IO coming back was great. Let him enjoy that and get his ring. And again, I'm a big fan of jewelry, and it's really a sign of an accomplishment. But I'm more excited to see our guys' reactions and how excited they were. I mean, they've been buzzing about that all day. So yeah, job well done. Now let's move and let's go try to get better.
Anything else? All right, thank you, Coach.
Let's avoid 9 overtimes, right?
Yeah. Unless we win.
Unless we win.
Oh, all right, so you guys